Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So yesterday I went to the Morphe store and I picked up a Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer and the Magic Star setting powder, and you guys will see my review in this video on what I think about the concealer and the setting powder. But I also put the setting powder to the test against my favorite ride or die and a bunch of other people's ride or die setting powder, the Mercier Translucent powder, so you guys will be able to see which one I like more, which one looked better on my skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget that I do have the Blue Blood palette giveaway going on right now. If you guys are watching this today or sometime during the week, it does end next week. So I will have that link down in the description box below, and you guys can see how to enter in to win that palette. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so I started off with my Tatcha Silk Canvas primer because I love this primer so freaking much. And then now I'm going to go in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which I've recently just started trying this, and so far I love it because it just feels so good on the skin. Literally feels like your skin is just getting a big old gulp of water and hydration. Feels so good. Then next I'm going to take my Born This Way foundation, and it's probably a little too dark for me, but we'll make it work. I'm just going to do everything the same as if I normally would if I was using full coverage, like foundation and stuff, which lately I haven't been wearing that much makeup. It's pretty good. I'm going to bring it down my neck just because my tan is super uneven. Like super uneven. It looks horrible. I'm just going to bring this everywhere as much as it'll spread. Okay, so this is what we have right now, just our base down. Just, you know, normal, regular favorite primers. Everything's good. Now, I did test these out yesterday. I tested them out yesterday, so I kind of already have like an idea of how I'm gonna feel about it. But, you know, we'll try it out a second time, see if I like it better, if I like it worse than the first time, because, you know, the first time is kind of iffy. I did film that video, but I just didn't like the way it came out, and I wanted to give it another try. I went to the Morphe store yesterday and I picked up 2 shades. I was like, you know what, I'm only gonna get 1 concealer and 1 setting powder because I really have to save money right now. That's all I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get anything else, nothing else. 1 concealer, 1 setting powder, we're good. Get in, get out, we're good. So I went into the store and I came out with 2 concealers because I couldn't decide my shade, because everyone knows the lighting in stores, it's not good. It's confusing. It's so confusing. We need a store with like 360 windows all around it, okay? Because when we're trying to shade match, it's confusing. And then I also came out with 2 powders. I came out with Translucent and Fair. Originally, I was just going to get Fair. I was like, I'm just going to get Fair because Translucent, in the video that he did with Gabriel Zamora, it just looked too white. And for me, I do not really like that super white, super bright, like crazy under eye, because in pictures, it's just not for me. I just don't like the way that it looks. I don't like the way that it looks on me, so I prefer not to do that. And Jesse always makes fun of me if I have super bright under eyes, because I did it for a little bit and then after that he would just always make fun of me, so I just had to stop doing that. He doesn't just make fun of me though, he makes fun of everybody. I was just gonna stick with Fair, but then I got into the store and I saw Translucent and I was like, you know what, I just have to get it. I'm already here, let's just get it, because if not, I'm just gonna be wondering, you know, if I like it or not. And then the concealers, it came in this packaging right here. Is it holographic or whatever? It's so beautiful. Just look at the packaging. Okay, so when I first saw these and I watched Jeffree Star's video, I was like, I hope it's not like a plasticky feel. You know, like kind of those cheap little necklaces that you get when you're like a little kid and they have those little jewels and stuff. That's how I thought this was gonna feel. I thought it was gonna be a little bit cheesy, but after like picking it up and feeling it, and the quality really is really good. The weight is pretty decent, like it's pretty heavy, and this is just so stunning. Can you guys see? It's just so stunning and so beautiful. This is what it looks like. I love the packaging. At first, like I said, I thought it was gonna be a little bit cheesy, but it's not. It is so, so, so beautiful. Here's the packaging for the setting powders, and again, it is stunning, it is beautiful. It's just, you know, he just always kills it with packaging. So while we were standing in line, I only got there 30 minutes early, so we only stood in line for 30 minutes, which wasn't that bad. And my boyfriend asked me, so like, what's the hype between like his makeup products versus like other people's makeup products? Like, why is his so special? Why do people wait in line for it, especially for a launch like of just concealers? And I was telling him, I'm like, you know what? His products are really good. He makes it a super affordable price, and we'll get into that in a second. But honestly, his packaging just reels everyone in. It's so unique and it's so beautiful, and especially people who are like obsessed with makeup and collectors of makeup, like when you see packaging like this or packaging like this, it's just something you have to have. Like, there is just something in us makeup addiction people that just tells us you need it in your life. You have to get it just because the packaging is so beautiful. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about price before we try these on, before anything else. Setting powders and concealers, $22 each. Not a bad price. Really not a bad price. Really affordable for, I think, a lot of consumers. One thing though that I did notice compared to my other two concealers, I have another concealer that I use, but I don't know where it's at the moment. But I was looking at my Tarte Shape Tape, which, you know, I don't really love the Tarte Shape Tape. No tea, no shade. As much as a lot of other people, it's not my favorite. And then I was also looking at the Naked Skin Urban Decay Concealer. So the amount of product you get in a Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer is 3.4 milliliters of product. Now, mind you, this is only $22. If you compare that to the Naked Skin Urban Decay Concealer, this one comes with 5 milliliters of product, and I believe the Tarte Shape Tape has more. And the Tarte Shape Tape has, gosh, these are so small I can't even see, has 10 milliliters of product. Now, I'm pretty sure these are more expensive. Now with the setting powder, you do get 10 grams of product in the setting powder, and that is 0.353 ounces. Now I do have this Patrick Star, which I've had this forever, translucent powder, and I still haven't run out of it. This one, you get 1 ounce for 30 grams of product. I don't remember how much this one was. Maybe like $40. The Pretty Vulgar one that I have is 25 grams, which is 0.88 ounces right here of product. And then, now I love the Laura Mercier Translucent powders. It is one of my favorite go-to, it is like my all-time favorite translucent powder ever. I don't really get the full-size one all the time just because I don't really use that much translucent powders, and you guys can see I have a lot of translucent powders to go through. So I get the travel size one, which I think is close to the same price. Maybe it's even a little bit more expensive than the Jeffree Star one, and this one comes with 9.3 grams of product. Oh, okay, so it's about the same. Okay, so that's fair. It's 0.7 grams less than the Jeffree Star. So not bad. That's actually a really good comparison. I'm actually going to use those, especially because this one's my favorite. I'm going to compare this one, and I did this yesterday, like I said, so I kind of already know how I'm going to feel about this, but I'm going to compare on both sides, the Jeffree Star setting powder versus the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So I'm talking like crazy. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I have C6 right here, and then I have C7 right here. There is a difference right there. C7 has a little bit more of a yellowy undertone. I think this one's more of like the olive undertone one. I'm not sure. I gotta look it up. The Morphe manager did inform us that they tested out a lot of these concealers and they do oxidize a lot. So the color that you like, get a shade or two lighter than you would think, because when it dries down, they do oxidize. So maybe keep that in mind if you guys are looking into this. So I'm just going to use a little bit of C6 because I feel this one matches me best right now. I feel like the other one would match me better in the summertime when I'm a little bit more tan. So I'm just going to blend this out with my Morphe sponge. I really like the consistency of this concealer. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. It's like a happy medium between my Naked Skin concealer and my Tarte Shape Tape. Tarte Shape Tape is way too thick for me. I feel like it's way too cakey, even if I just put on a little bit. Like when people put a whole triangle under their eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh. I put like one dot and I'm like, no, it's too much. With this one, I feel like it's just the perfect consistency, honestly. And it has such good coverage, and it's not super flat matte either. It's not super dewy, but it is not super matte or drying matte at all. So this is what she's looking like blended out. I think it is so flawless and so beautiful. Like I said, I tried this yesterday, so I kind of already know how I feel about the concealer, and I love it. I think it is so beautiful. I haven't worn it all day, so I don't really know how it wears yet, but so far this has got to be probably one of my favorite concealers that I've ever used. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Fair setting powder. The setting powders, they do have like a really sweet scent to it. Not an overwhelmingly sweet scent, but it definitely, oh, what does it smell like? Kind of smells like Pop Rocks. That's what it's reminding me of. Like the strawberry Pop Rocks. Use my sponge and I'm going to pick up that Fair translucent powder. And I'm not going to bake. I'm just going to kind of press everything into the skin. And then on the other side of my sponge, I'm going to tap out all those creases like I did on the other side, and take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and use that to set my under eyes. Now the reason I used Fair instead of translucent is because the Laura Mercier does have a little bit of a tint to it. It's not as white as the translucent powder. I feel like the Fair powder matches more to the same tone as the Laura Mercier one. And I'm just going to grab a brush and some Laura Mercier translucent powder on this side and just set down that whole base in my eyes. And then on the other side, I'm going to use my Jeffree Star one. So now I'm just going to go through my regular makeup routine and kind of just get ready. Just, you know, I'm not going to do a crazy look, just kind of a very wearable look. So I'm going to be taking my Smashbox, the Cali Contour palette, and I'm going to take this shade and this shade right there and start bronzing up the skin. So first application of the setting powder, everything looks great. On both sides, it looks really great. From being so nitpicky, judging it right off the bat, the Jeffree Star one under my eyes right here looks just the slightest bit drier than my Laura Mercier side. Now I'm going to take this blush shade right here in the palette, and I actually really love everything in this palette. I was kind of unsure about getting it because it was in the 21 Days of Beauty, and I just decided, what the heck, why not? And I have been using it ever since it came in. Like, I love how everything is in one palette and everything just blends and goes on so beautifully. At first I thought the highlighters were going to be way too dark for me, but they actually are so beautiful. Okay, so the concealers and setting powders have been on my face for about 10 minutes now. And I still gotta say the same thing. This side just looks a tad bit drier. I don't know why. It happened yesterday too. Yesterday, instead of my Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, I went in with the No Problem Primer. I love this primer. I got it, I think, last month or the month before, and you guys can see I've already used up quite a bit of this product. Never really had any problems with it, but yesterday, the side where I used the Mercier Translucent powder looked flawless, looked beautiful, and nothing was wrong with it. But then the side where I used Jeffree Star setting powder, it looked terrible. It was all breaking up right here. I was like, it can't be the concealer because I'm using his concealer. And my foundation, I mean, if it doesn't work with my foundation, I don't know. So the only thing I could think about was the primer. Let me go ahead and try a different primer. So like I said, it's not really happening that bad right now, but just to let you guys know, yesterday whenever I did use a different primer, it didn't look good at all. It was breaking up all right here in this section right here. And right now it does look dry right in here, but it doesn't look as bad as it did yesterday. Yesterday I did not like the setting powder at all. Not at all. I'm just going to see how much the Mercier Translucent powder is, and I'm going to look up the mini size one because it is only 0.7 ounces less than the Jeffree Star Translucent powder, so I feel like that's around the same, you know, the same range. And if I were to compare it to the 1 ounce one, I know the 1 ounce one of Mercier is around $40, which is like twice as much as this. So when I look up the mini size of the Mercier Translucent powder that I have right here, it is $23. In my opinion, on my skin, when using it with the Jeffree Star concealer, I do have to go with my Ride or Die setting powder, the Mercier one. It just, to me, it just looks way more flawless than this side. Like this side where I use the Mercier, it just looks so much more smooth and flawless. However, I do absolutely love the concealers. This is my second time. Yesterday, I fell in love with the concealers, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and try it again today and see if I still feel the same way. This might be my favorite concealer out there. So if you guys can see the difference, like right here, just looks so much more dry, and under my eyes right here, and just this whole section compared to this side. I don't know. What do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Don't forget about my Blue Blood palette giveaway that ends next week. I'll leave that down in the description box below that video so you guys can see the rules to enter to win that palette. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!